The Maldives will retain Indian aviation platforms, two naval choppers, and a Dornier aircraft, but India will replace its military personnel involved in the operation and maintenance work by May 10. According to a readout posted by mail of the second India Maldives high level core group meeting that took place here on Friday. While India only said both sides agreed on a set of mutually workable solutions to enable continued operation of Indian aviation platforms, Mail said India had agreed to replace its military personnel in one of the platforms by March 10 and would do the same for the remaining two platforms by May 10. This effectively means India has agreed to withdraw its military personnel, giving in to President Mohammad Muizzu's persistent demands for the same, but there is no clarity on who will replace the staff. Indian government did not confirm if it will be Indian civilians, including maybe ex-servicemen. The platform provide humanitarian and medvac services to Maldivians. Muizzu had earlier warned that the presence of Indian military in any form on Maldivian soil would be detrimental to democracy in his country. He had told India that withdrawal of Indian forces was the democratic will of Maldivian people. India, however, was keen that Mail retain the choppers and the aircraft that have saved over 500 lives through medical evacuations in the Indian Ocean. Muizzu apparently believes the removal of Indian forces will boost his party's prospects in the upcoming parliamentary polls. The second meeting of the core group formed after Muizzu's meeting with PM Narendra Modi in Dubai last year looked to enhance partnership in defense and security, trade and development. During the meeting, both sides continued their discussions on wide-ranging issues related to bilateral cooperation towards identifying steps to enhance the partnership, including expediting the implementation of ongoing development cooperation projects, said the Indian government, adding that the next meeting will be held in May on a mutually convenient date. Sorry. On a day when CM Arvind Kejriwal chose not to appear before Enforcement Directorate for the fifth time and led his party members to stage a big demonstration against BJP, accusing it for rigging the Chandigarh mayor elections, Delhi Police Crime Branch landed at his residence in the evening. They served him a notice seeking evidence regarding his allegations of poaching attempts on his MLAs by BJP. Sources said police have begun an investigation as the allegations leveled by Kejriwal are of a crime being committed and police was duty bound to probe them. The cops also went to AAP Minister Atishi's house to serve a similar notice. However, the notices could not be served as the cops were informed that the two were busy and unavailable, a senior cop said. Government sources said officials at the CM's house were ready to receive the notice, but it can be served only to the person to whom it is addressed. RBI has found lakhs of instances of alleged KYC violation by Paytm payment banks, raising concerns of money laundering, along with the lenders in the ability to maintain arm's length relationship from its parent, resulting in the agency putting severe curbs on it. The regulator noticed multiple irregularities, including alleged absence of KYC for a very large number of customers and lakhs of instances of failure in PAN validation. In thousands of cases, the same PAN was linked to more than 100 customers, and in some cases, it was linked to more than 1,000 customers, revealing massive misuse. A Paytm payment bank spokesperson told the bank always upheld compliance with supervisory instructions in its interaction with the regular firm from time to time. We therefore request you to, guided by the press release of RBI dated January 31, and refrain from any further speculations. 2 days of political uncertainty in Jharkhand following Hemant Soren's arrest by ED and his resignation from the chief ministership ended at noon Friday with JM veteran and Siraikela MLA Champai Soren taking the oath of office as the state's 7th CM along with 2 ministers. Congress Alamgar Alam and RJD Satyanand Bhokta swearing in completed the ceremonial formality of reinstating the coalition government that had been repeatedly rocked by ED's probe into a land scam allegedly involving Soren. By then, 38 of 48 MLAs of JM-led Mahagathbandhan were en route to Hyderabad by two charter planes. The MLAs who would not landed on southern shores the previous night but for bad weather are likely to stay put in Hyderabad till it's time for a floor test in the assembly. Supreme Court confused to entertain Jharkhand's ex-CM Hemant Soren's plea challenging his arrest by ED. Why should you not go to High Court? Why have you come here directly? The Supreme Court asked. High Court is a constitutional court. If we permit someone to come here in one case, we have to permit everyone in all cases, the apex court said. Calling it the golden period for India's mobility sector, PM Narendra Modi said the country is growing and aspirational middle class will fuel vehicle sales across the country and asked automakers to ensure that there is a made in India vehicle running across most of the markets globally. There was a strong message for tire makers with India, with Modi suggesting that they source rubber locally by engaging more with the farming communities, think out of the box and think in collaboration. He told a gathering of businessmen and executives of Bharat Mobility Global Expo. The PM said India stands at the cusp of a massive demand curve which should lead to greener and cleaner vehicles. Allahabad High Court did not give any immediate relief on Friday to the Gyanvapi Masjid Committee that had challenged the order of the Varanasi court allowing Hindu prayers in the southern cellar of the mosque. The court will now hear the matter on February 6. Justice Rohan Ranjan Agarwal passed the order while hearing an appeal filed by the Anjuman Intijamiya Masjid Committee, which looks after the affairs of Gyanvapi Mosque, against the Varanasi District Court's order. The Varanasi court has ruled Wednesday that a priest can perform prayers before idols in the southern cellar of Gyanvapi's mosque. A 5-member panel constituted for outlining Uniform Civil Code in Uttarakhand handed over its final draft report to CM Pushkar Singh Dhami on Friday. The report will be discussed in a state cabinet meeting scheduled for Friday, and it was set to be passed. Thereafter, it will be tabled in assembly during a special session called from February 5 to 8, paving the way for Uttarakhand to become the first state after independence to implement UCC. Though the contents of the report were not immediately made public, sources said the panel headed by a retired Supreme Court judge recommended a complete ban of polygamy and polyandry. Scheduled tribes have been exempted from UCC's purview. Aam Aadmi Party said on Friday that BJP was scared of the protests organized in the city against the mayoral elections in Chandigarh and detained its leader while turning the party headquarters into a cantonment. At a press conference, AAP's Delhi state convener Gopal Rai alleged that it was for the first time that his party's legislators and municipal councillors were detained or put under house arrest because they were going to participate in a peaceful protest. Delhi Assembly Speaker Ramnivas Goyal, Deputy Mayor this and this have been placed under house arrest, claimed Rai. Referring to AAP headquarters on Deen Dayal Upadhyay Marg on Friday, Rai added, it seemed that police were on a protest, workers were detained. We wanted to stage a peaceful protest, but police made an unprecedented deployment. Earlier, Minister Atishi posted on social media that AAP workers coming to the party office to join the protest were being stopped by security forces. Heavy barricading across Delhi, buses full of AAP volunteers being detained, hundreds of paramilitary forces outside the AAP office. Why is BJP so scared of protests on the Chandigarh mayoral elections? She asked on X. Her ministerial colleague Saurabh Bhardwaj asked in a video statement whether the Saffron party was scared of Kejriwal. The entire country saw how votes were stolen in the Chandigarh mayoral polls by BJP, he claimed. The AAP leaders alleged that police has started phoning MLA and councillors from Thursday evening, asking them not to leave their house on Friday. They also claimed that the cops had strategically parked their vehicles in front of buses carrying party workers in the protest venue. Police, however, refuted the allegations about the house arrest of AAP functionaries and said 160 people belonging to both AAP and BJP who were protesting against each other had been detained following minor skirmishes. Delhi police had detained Delhi police had denied permission for both protests. Isolated parts of Delhi saw cold day conditions on Friday, and there is a prediction for very light rain or a drizzle on Saturday night. The Met Department has issued a yellow alert for Sunday for light rain or thunder showers. Parts of Delhi saw dense fog. Visibility dropped to zero at IGI airport from 6 to this. Over 70 flights were delayed. Safdarjung recorded a shallow fog with visibility of around 500 meters. The air quality on Friday deteriorated to poor with the air quality index reading 212. According to India Meteorological Department, cold day conditions were seen at Palam with maximum temperature dipping to 16 degrees Celsius, 6 degrees below normal. Ayanagar saw a cold day with day temperature setting at 18 degrees Celsius, which is 5 degrees below normal. A cold day is declared when the minimum temperature is below 10 degrees Celsius and the maximum temperature is at least 4.5 degrees less than normal. According to India Meteorological Department. The maximum temperature at Safdarjung, which is city's base station, was 18 degrees Celsius, 4 notches below normal. The minimum temperature was 7 degrees Celsius, 1 notch below normal. Delhi ranks as the 44th most congested city center among 387 around the world in 23 as per the 13th annual traffic index published by Dutch geolocation technology specialist TomTom. The index said that on average it took 20 minutes and 40 seconds to cover 10 km in the city during 23, a slowing down of 30 seconds since last year. The average speed during rush hour in Delhi being 24 km per hour. The other closed city in India were Bengaluru 6th rank, Pune 7th and Mumbai 54th. The TomTom report states that the worst rush of the week is seen in Delhi on Tuesday at 5 to 6 pm with 10 km taking an average time of 28 minutes 10 seconds to cover. The worst day to travel in Delhi in 23 was January 17, which marked the return of cold day wave in the capital. In 23, the busiest street in the city was C Hexagon at India Gate. The capital continues to navigate through the honks and the hurry, but it has come a long way from being 8th in the 20, 11th in 21 and 34th in 22. Traffic officers attributed the improvement in the ranking to a range of factors. HGS Dhaliwal, Special Commissioner of Police Traffic, said that the introduction of better traffic management systems, traffic flow optimization and synchronized traffic signals has helped reduce congestion and travel times. Strict enforcement of traffic rules, better implementation of speed limits and taking steps to improve road safety have also contributed to smoother traffic flow, said Dhaliwal. The traffic signal timings are regularly audited to make sure motorists keep moving ahead smoothly. At certain locations, one-way traffic movement and the deployment of cranes on roads have helped traffic move freely, he added. In terms of congestion, Delhi is the 19th worst city in a congestion of 48%, which is the same as the congestion level in 21. Congestion level denotes the extra time a driver spends traveling the same distance over and above in a free flowing condition. Addressing the cause of congestion, Dr. Sevaram, Professor of Transport Planning, School of Planning and Architecture, explained the continual rise in vehicle volume with stagnant capacity is a primary problem. Additionally, the primary road network receives attention while the secondary network is neglected, in effect merely shifting congestion rather than elevating it. Ram highlighted the importance of planning primary projects with consideration of the surrounding secondary network, citing the Pragati Maidan tunnel as an example. Despite its high discharge rate, he pointed out a bottleneck is created at the entry point due to low road capacities. You could soon be visiting past immigration at Indian airports, starting with Delhi and subsequently Mumbai and Bengaluru, with government going to introduce biometric based immigration complete with e-gates. Other airports will follow suit. Union Aviation Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia on Friday met officials from different ministries and agencies to speed up both immigration and security for international passengers by delving into solutions derived from studying international airport models such as those in Singapore and Canada. Accordingly, a number of plans are being explored for each passenger interface to speed things up. This includes cross utilization of X-ray baggage inspection system machines at pre-embarkation security checkpoints of Delhi airport. We are exploring the possibility of cross utilizing. Wait a minute. We are exploring the possibility of cross-utilizing domestic and international XBIS machines at Delhi Airport to ensure greater availability of machines and hence lesser waiting time by enabling easy transfer of machines between domestic level and international travel sites, a government statement said. Deployment of new technologies on the anvil. Proof of concept trials for use of e-gates and e-biometrics for immigration are already underway. These are set to redefine the standards of efficiency and security in air travel. The Union Home Ministry has been working on this for the past few months. Government is doing a thorough analysis of manpower requirement of CISF and immigration officers. This analysis takes into account the planned expansion of existing as well as a new airport to come up across the country, including those in Jewar, Navi Mumbai and others. Sindhia said, "We are discussing the design models to speed up immigration security for international travelers. New technologies such as e-biometrics are on the anvil and are currently being tested. These will be key in our vision for international aviation hubs in India." The minister met officials from Foreign, Home and Aviation Ministries and Bureau of Immigration, Central Industrial Security Force, Bureau of Civil Aviation Security and this of India to implement these things and discuss possible changes in airport interior design as well as new technologies to expedite immigration and security checks processes for international travelers. Speeding up these processes, especially immigration, and bringing them in line with the best global practices is key to having international hubs in India. While Delhi's IGI airport is set to be India's first global hub and will see the changes soon, Mumbai and Bengaluru airports will also do trials for biometric based immigration. Vice President Jagdeep Dhankad on Friday told degree receiving students and scholars of JNU, "You are the minds, you have to neutralize anti-national narratives as JNU is the nerve center of engage in scrutiny and probe." The Vice President was speaking at the 7th convocation of JNU at All India Council for Technical Education auditorium on Friday. If some outside universities have been hopeless with anti-India narratives spread by teachers and students of Indian origin, then it's shameful, Dhankad said, urging the student body to rise to the occasion and combat such forces and engage in discussions as it is the students' responsibility to make India a world leader by in 2047. At the 55th year of coming into being, JNU's second convocation was held in 2018, 46 years since the first in 1972. Although the event started after a 3-hour delay, the auditorium was packed with students in a white ethnic wear and bordered white scarves around their necks. Union Minister of State for Education Subhash Sarkar and JNU Chancellor Kanwal Sibbal presided over the event. Among the award winners, 418 were men and 384 women. Among the winners were 16 international students. The highest number of PhD holders were from Uttar Pradesh. Dhankad said that the fundamental principle of democracy is equality before the law. Democracy has no meaning if someone is more equal than others. He encouraged the students to read the original constitution. The original constitution has 22 miniature illustrations depicting Gurukul, return of Ram, Sita and Lakshman to Ayodhya, Lord Krishna in Kurukshetra. They reflect the depth of 5,000 years of our civilization, he said. He said that earlier the governance ecosystem was very difficult and it was against meritocracy. Power corridors were infested with corrupt elements, liaison agents. Now, he said, the power corridors have been duly sanitized. Today you have every opportunity to fulfill, exploit our talent and potential, realize your ambitions and dreams. He added that India was now perceived differently by the world and global agencies. Global institutions used to look down upon us, but now IMF has indicated that India's rise among large economies is the highest, he said. He congratulated JNU for having a woman vice chancellor for the first since establishment. He called VC Shantisri D. Pandit a firebrand leader who ensured gender representation in administrative positions. Dhankad also invited students to visit the new parliament building. Pandit, when she spoke, highlighted that JNU has topped the NIRF ranking. It has been a rare example of higher education institution translating rhetoric into action, whether addressing concerns of caste, gender, or other marginalized group. JNU has emerged as a mainstay as empowerment and upliftment of inclusivity. She highlighted that JNU is fully funded by Education Ministry. Funded student strength has increased with women students outnumbering men, she said. She spoke at length about the implementation of the national education policy and said that 192 academic programs and new MA programs have been introduced. A revision in the syllabus of UG and PG courses as per UGC has begun. Sorry. More outreach activities have begun, she added. She said the highest faculty is in present regime. No posts have been de-reserved and 69% were recruited from the reserved category. High Court judges can examine every issue under the sun, and even top bureaucrats in a given case, but are reluctant to clear a written test followed by an interview to head state consumer forums. Supreme Court and the government on Friday were on the same page that it was below dignity of Constitutional Court judges to appear in written test, a subsequent interview, and secure minimum 50% marks in both the examination and viva voce to get selected as presidents of state consumer disputes redressal commissions. A bench headed by CJI D.Y. Chandrachud said it is rather undignified to make retired High Court judges sit for examination. Most of the competent retired judges are averse to it. Their competence should be considered based on judgments rendered by them as sitting judges. CJI said even retired district judges are reluctant to go through such a selection process. SG Tushar Mehta agreed with the CJI but pointed out the government by an amendment of the selection rules had done away with the requirement of retired judges going through written test viva voce selection process to become SCDRC president. Mehta said this amendment was struck down by bench of Justices M.R. Shah and M.M. Sudresh on March 323. The Supreme Court had invoked in its omnibus pass under Article 142 of the Constitution and said for appointment of President and members of the State Commission and District Forums, the appointment shall be made on the basis performance in written test consisting of 2 papers. The 2 papers, each of 100 marks, was to test retired judges' competence in general knowledge, constitutional law and consumer laws, ability to write essay on trade and commerce as well as consumer related issue or public affairs, and write a case study to determine his or her abilities in analysis and drafting. The 2-judge bench had asked the qualifying marks in each paper shall be 50% and there shall be viva voce of 50 marks. Therefore, marks to be allotted out of 250 which shall consist of a written test consisting 2 papers, each of 100 marks and 50 marks on the basis of viva voce. The CJI requested the SG to ask the Consumer Affairs Ministry to elevate the impact of judgment, the necessity of holding examination for retired judges and file an application for suitable relief. The SG said he would file it within a week. The Supreme Court bench fixed further hearing on February. Canadian police are investigating an overnight shooting at the residence of Sikh activist Sarbjit Singh, a close associate of the pro-Khalistan chief of band Khalistan Tiger Force Hardeep Singh Nijjar, who was shot dead in Surrey, Canada on June 18 last year. Niger's killing led to a diplomatic row between India and Canada after PM Justice Justin Trudeau said he suspected Indian government involvement. A Gurudwara Council spokesperson in Canada's British Columbia province, Moninder Singh, blamed India for the Thursday morning shooting at Sarbjit Singh's house. He said the two gunmen fired at Sarbjit's house barely 10 minutes after he reached home, and the bullets hit the inside walls, and his 6-year-old son had a narrow escape. Addressing a press conference at Guru Nanak Sikh Gurudwara in Surrey, where Niger was shot dead in parking lot, Moninder Singh alleged, "We feel that his targeting is from the Indian side and he was being followed for the several months. There also was surveillance outside his house." Sarbjit, who also informed the police authorities about this. Sarbjit is associated with the Khalistan movement, including the Khalistan referendum organized by Sikhs of Justice, which is proscribed in India. Sarbjit was at forefront of organizing a protest outside the Indian consultation on January 26, he added. Chief Justices were appointed to 6 High Courts, including Allahabad and Rajasthan, on Friday. Acting Chief Justice of Rajasthan High Court Manindra Mohan Srivastava was appointed as its Chief Justice. Justice Ritu Kumari, these. Their names were recommended by Supreme Court Collegium on November 2 last year. Once Justice Bahari takes oath as the Chief Justice of Uttarakhand High Court, who of the 25 High Courts in the country will be headed by women. Justice Sunita Agrawal heads Gujarat High Court. Union Law Minister Arjun Ram Meghwal announced the appointments on X. Assam, while lining up a standalone anti-polygamy bill for introduction in the budget session of the Assembly slated to start from next week, is also simultaneously weighing the options of borrowing an all-inclusive UCC prepared by Uttarakhand. A 5-member committee submitted a draft code to Uttarakhand CM Pushkar Singh Dhami on Friday. This draft bill will be taken up by the State Cabinet on Saturday and will be tabled for discussion and passage in a special session from February 5 to 8. Assam has already prepared its own draft bill covering only the polygamy aspect, which CM Hemant Biswa Sharma on Friday said it with the Law Department for vetting. Sharma said, we are also closely monitoring the development of Uttarakhand. If the Uttarakhand UCC bill will be laid on February 5, then can we be in a position of implement the entire UCC? We will see that also. Our budget session will start from February 5, so we have some time. The Assam budget session will conclude on February 28 and the budget for the next fiscal year will be presented on February 12. Last month, Sharma had announced that the UCC bill in the state will not cover the state's tribal population. He said that Assam will follow the Uttarakhand bill on UCC with certain additional clauses. The final UCC draft report submitted to Uttarakhand's CM Pushkar Singh Dhami recommends having a common marriageable age for girls across all religions, as well as enforcing similar grounds and procedures for divorce. It proposed equal property and inheritance rights for males and females. Also, live-in relationships will have to be registered with police. Sources private to the article to the 740-page final draft prepared by a panel headed by retired Supreme Court Judge Justice Ranjan Prakash Desai said the couples in a live-in relationship will need to provide a declaration about their status. As per the provisions, marriage registration will become compulsory. Women across faiths will get maintenance allowance, while polyandry will cease to exist, and so will halala and idat. Sorry.